Hi everyone, welcome back to Infinity Wealth.
We hope you're enjoying all the videos so far, and we hope you're getting a good amount of information, and you're finding the videos also fun as well.
Yeah.
We try to make it
As fun as possible. It's still got his knees.
It's still got my knees. It's still hot. In this video is actually a very juicy topic.
Yeah.
Big juicy topic.
It's something that everyone reached out to and they want to find out more about.
Yes.
Raising finance.
Raising finance.
So this one's going to be about raising finance.
It's also going to be a warm up to our first workshop that's happening in the beginning of September, which is about JVs in particular. Yeah.
So it's going to be the first or beginning of September.
Yeah.
That workshop is a free workshop. It's an all-day workshop, not one of these little tasters or anything else like that, because that's not what we're about. Yeah, we're not about that. Yeah. We're about providing free content to you guys to actually take action. Right?
Exactly.
Sometime, and that workshop will be about JV finance.
Yeah.
So we'll bring in various people. We'll talk about the different aspects of JV finance as well.
Yeah.
How to raise JV finance. What are the different techniques of raising different JV finances, and there's a whole load. That I will cover in that workshop, but obviously here we're limited, but we're going to cover some of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, super. So, I mean, before we get into the juicy topic of raising finance, I think what would be really good is, especially if I ask you, Martin, some basics to let our viewers know. Yeah. First of all, I mean, why would people need to raise finance? Why do people go about raising this money?
I mean, the main thing is no matter how much wealth you have, you always will need to work with a partner, right? Yeah. If you look at the biggest billionaires in the world, they borrow from banks, they borrow from syndicated loans, and it's what propels life. Now, one of the main things, and there will be a video, by the way, that I will be doing specifically for those people who are sitting on a lot of cash, to educate them on why they need to actually deploy some of this wealth that they've got in helping others and helping themselves and creating wealth. So it's a win-win for both of you. So I will be producing that video, and that is a video that you guys can actually show your potential JV partner, share it with them, and say, look, have a look, and I'll be explaining why it's so important, especially with QE and what's going on in the world now with the amount of quantitative. Do you realise that there's $12 trillion dollars worth of debt around the world, which is yielding negative figures at the moment? Yeah. So you're losing money. If you lend it to some of these governments, sovereign debt is yielding negative figures. Yeah. So if you are wealthy and you have something, work with people. Yeah. And it's people who have. You've often see it on Dragon's Den, right? You see it on Dragon's Den where they say you're investable. Well, what we want to do is make you investable. Yeah. That's the first thing that we want to do. Yeah. Right? And that is by educating you and showing you how to go about doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you've hit the nails on the head on all of them. And I think, especially for property specific as well, you'd be looking to work with people raising finance for not only just your investment projects, whether it's for refurbishments, whether it's pay for house deposits, more specifically for properties.
But above all, you have to be clear. You have to be clear. With any JV potential partner that you're working with, you have to have clarity, right? Yeah. Clarity brings you confidence in the person who's going to invest in you or with you, that you know what you're talking about. Yeah. Above all, so Kiki's just going to read out a couple of things on clarity, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's and correct me if I'm wrong, you have to define how much you're looking to raise and exactly what for, right?
Absolutely. There's no point, going to the begging bowl and saying, well, can I have some money? No.
Yeah, you have to be very concise, especially where you're going to be spending that money as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the next question, it's another basic question, but I think it's a very popular one. Is it important to get the deal in place, then the finance, or get the finance and then the deal?
Okay. I always think, it basically it depends on you reaching out. First of all, you have to make yourself as an investable person. Okay. First and foremost, you have to remember that. So you're constantly talking to people. And you know, you've probably seen it on Dragon's Den. If this person is investable or not. So if you can reach out, there's lots of people who've got angel finance there, and it's reaching out to those sort of people. And we'll talk about in the workshop. We'll talk about where these guys are basically. You know, where to find these guys. So the simple answer to your question is no, it doesn't make much difference really, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are able to, if someone, it's all about conveying confidence to your potential JV partner.
Yeah.
You know, are you an investable person? Do you know, like we talked about, the numbers, you have to be clear on exactly what you're borrowing it for, why you're borrowing it, how long you need it for. First and foremost, you must have that.
Yeah.
Right? Then secondly, obviously, if you've got a great deal, it's how you convey that great deal to them, right? And I, like I said before, I am going to help you with that video by showing them that video, so you can show the potential JV partner, look, why don't you have a look at this video?
Yeah.
And it will help you raise angel finance.
Yeah.
Because this video will show, you know, if you've got potential angel who, you know, having money in the bank does not give you security, first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
And it's our thing to actually show you that having money in the bank doesn't necessarily give you security. It's utilizing that money to make more money. So it's money flow, right? It's velocity of money, some people call it, right? And yeah, how quickly you can make your money grow and double it, triple it, so forth.
Yeah.
Right? So if you found a deal, then it's conveying that deal to them, but it's also mingling with the right type of people who think you're investable. So they're more likely to actually say, let me have a look at the deal that you've got, right?
Yeah.
Not be ashamed that you're doing property. Speak openly about the deals that you're doing, right? So and we'll show you how to do that, how to develop that confidence.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people who are starting new in property, they don't know how to develop that confidence.
Yeah.
And it's a case of for us, and that workshop will be great.
Yeah.
Because it's showing you how to develop that confidence.
Yeah. So it's just as important with your personal brand then as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah. Your personal brand's important, right?
Yeah,
so you hear it all the time. Is this person investable?
Yeah.
How do you define a person who is investable? First of all, you both have to be aligned, right? So you have to have certain values, that you share certain values, right? Because you're not going to invest in someone who doesn't necessarily share the same values.
Yeah.
There are people that do that,
but
I think 99% of the people work with another person if their values are the same and they're aligned.
Yeah, exactly.
And then clarity at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, is this person honest? You know, what are you looking for? Just basic question is, if I was a JV partner, just reverse it on yourself. If I was a JV partner, what would I want? And I had all the money and the tables were reversed. What would I want? Well,
that's a very good question.
This person is no different.
Very good question.
Absolutely no different to what you want.
Yeah.
So if you phrase it that way, and phrase it in, and also ask the questions, because something that a lot of people forget is they're in it only for themselves and say, well, I can only give you that much, right? First and foremost, offer your JV partner. It's a 50-50 partnership. Without them, you can't grow. Without you, they can't grow, right? So first one, you may have to give a bit more. That's fine. Give a bit more. Then once they've seen that whole thing work, they'll actually be more flexible. But don't go to them and say, well, I'll give you 6% or I'll give you 5%.
Yeah.
First and foremost, ask them what they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Then align yourself saying, well, actually, I could do that.
Yeah.
So in the workshops, we'll talk about, and it will be a very productive workshop. It's not just about numbers, it's how to communicate that to you. And I think that's where the benefit of this workshop will be really good.
Okay, so before we get into the juicy part of this video, there's a clarification I think we need to make, especially as we're talking about raising finance, is first of all, I mean, just reiterating what Martin said there, you need to be very clear on what you are and what you're presenting. A lot of people do get mixed up between property investing specifically and property businesses. Now, if you've completely got no cash yourselves and you're raising from zero upwards, it's very likely that you're setting up a property business because you're not working with your own money. Whereas if you're doing a 50-50 JV partnership, whether that's monetary value or any sort of other value equivalent, you could be setting up for yourself as property investment. And the reason why this is important is not to say you're wrong or you're right, is to actually prevent you having any failures really, or having any less obstacles.
You're both clear
you're both clear of both your investor and yourself, just to make you more successful to get that JV partnership or raising the funds, etc. So that's the first clarification I think we wanted to make. But apart from that, I mean, let's go on to it. So obviously the first way of making finance, what we've mentioned, is JV partnerships. And Marttand, JV partnership is obviously a very hot topic because it helps people, whether it's a 50-50, both can grow.
Yeah.
But, just give us a little bit of a backdrop of what JVs are, and then especially some examples of some of the best ones, one of the best ones.
So, I mean, look, there's different, everyone knows about a straightforward JV, which is basically a loan. Right?
Yeah.
Which is that you've got an investor, you'll give him a set amount of interest and on repayment of the loan as well for a set period of time. Now, that is a simple loan agreement, and in the workshop we'll talk about that as well. So that's one. The other type of partnerships that you can form is, what I'm always mindful of is that you have to have a 50-50. Mm-hmm. You have to have, a person has to be, you should be satisfied, I should be satisfied with a JV, right? So a JV that I really like at the moment is, let's say if you're a newbie in the industry, as long as you are pretty confident, and I've had mentees like Jake, I hope you're watching, hi Jake, who've basically raised finance from someone who's working in the city, right? I actually worked with Jake quite a bit, and he's got a JV partner who's lent him quite a bit of money, and he's on to his second project. He's even got a third project on the go, and that is a simple one where you donate your time and your expertise. So you are trained. This person basically has money, but they don't have the time to actually make their money work harder for them. Yeah. So it's actually working. So I will talk you on this video that I'm going to do for you guys is showing the JV partner the potential rewards that they're going to receive. Not the rewards that you're going to receive, because at the end of the day, it should be based on what they're going to get out of it and what you're going to get out of it, right? Yeah. Because everyone, when they're investing in you, they're going to say, well, what's in it for me? Yeah. It's human nature, right?
I think it's basic business principles, really. When you go into whether it's a pitch, the first thing you want to find out is, you don't want to pitch your product straight away. You want to find out what their problems are and what they want.
Yeah, and you did that with the pitch for space.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So the simple JV would be a 50-50 JV, but long term. So this is where it's a money in, money out type of deal. Mostly developments. So this is where what you're going to do is the investor is going to give all the money to the development. But in return, after you've done the development, you'll be able to pull out all the equity out of that, return it back to the investor. What you can do is then share in the uplift of the property that you've developed, but also share 50% of the rental income as well. Now, most people will say, well, actually, that's a bit unfair. I've done all the work. But my response to you immediately would be, okay, so you're first starting out. If you haven't got the experience, this person's going to get you that experience because they've got faith in you. You have to repay that faith as well, right? Yeah. So they're going to invest in you. So be prepared to give up a little bit, because that person is also, when it works, is going to sing your praises. Right? Is going to sing your praises to high heaven. You can then, the next term that you come to, you can renegotiate to make it a bit more favourable to you, right? And often in my life, I've done lots of things like that. So, you all know that I set up a solar company. I've had a lot of solar experience as well. And the first few deals that I did was actually, we were breaking even. Yeah. And you tend to find that in business all the time. It's a gradual process. It's not just hitting it hard. It's to develop a following and develop a brand, right? So you're doing the same thing. You're developing your brand. Yeah. And by doing that, look at what we're doing right now with you guys. Right? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. That's really great. Yeah. So the next one we're going to go on to is crowd raising. So crowd raising, I know it's becoming very popular now. Yeah. So one of the examples is myself in Space.
Exactly.
So with our company altogether, we all raised an initial allotment of around 250k, and then went on to raise a few 400k plus more as well later, and that was all on like a crowd raising platform. That's a little bit different because we had an app but it's still a way, and you can find alternate ways for especially property investment where you can do.
There's lots of crowdfunding platforms. There's lots.
There's lots. Yeah.
So there's Funding Circle. There's, which one did you use for space?
So we Seeders.
Right, Seeders.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different ones.
Yeah.
But above all, we'll show you how to do the due diligence on those as well.
And the second method is raising small allotments from investors. So where instead of going to one investor and having I need 200k or something, being able to get 5k here, 5k there for different, and having agreements of how you pay those back, repayment terms, etc.
And we've had that. We've done some really big developments where it's gone into quite a lot of money. Where we've had big investors who then said, look, I'll put in X amount. And it's just worked, but we're very limited. We don't like to work with lots and lots of investors.
Of course, there's a balance of having too many and a good amount.
Absolutely.
Okay. The next one is bridging finance, which a lot of people would know, I think.
With bridging finance, a lot of people are against bridging. I always say, look, if the numbers work on bridging, and you're safe and you're protected and you know how to do the numbers, above all, you must know how to do the numbers, then why not? At the end of the day, a bridge is a way to actually get what you want out of it. Yes, fine, the charges on the bridging company are a little bit higher, the interest is a little bit higher, but I can introduce you to lots of different bridging companies as well, and we'll invite a few of them as well to our video sessions, and they'll talk about is what they're looking for from a potential investor, and it's mainly to do with due diligence and are you investable, right? But bridging finance is great, right? On average, most bridging finance companies charge you anything from 1% to 0.75% a month. They normally have entry and exit fees. Some have entry fees only of 3%, and they don't have the exit fees. Some have fees of 1% and then an exit fee as well. But it all works out about the same. And once you've developed that, so there's various banks that also do bridging as well. You could do that basically.
Okay, super. So the next one is old but gold of saving money. So I know it's a classic way, but I think it's really important that you understand how to save money, especially if you're in a job and you've got the ability to save money. I know some people might not, but if you do have that option, I think it's a very important. It's a really good way of raising finance, really. Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, we have to develop a culture where you're not spending more than your income, right? And I think this is where people are going wrong, because they're wanting or they're seeing on Instagram and things like that, where they want that lifestyle. But that lifestyle, if you speak to most successful people, they've done the hard graft in the beginning. Right, and that hard graft could be saving money. So you might have your own savings. If you have, then you should utilise them. Because at the end of the day, your money in the bank is not giving you security. It's not giving you security, right?
Exactly.
Security comes from having a passive income. Or using your money to get even more money.
Exactly. I think that's a great summary of the saving money part. I think the next one is now this is not the easiest, obviously. It's business, starting a side business or a startup or something like that. But it is an additional source of income. I think me personally, I've always been. I think actually I came to this realization more recently that business is almost as important to me as investing. Being able to create some sort of project or some sort of platform where I'm able to gain that initial amount of money that I need to then be able to go and invest in the next property in the next 5 to 10 years. And again, it's not easy. I mean, it doesn't have to be business. It can be a job as well. It can be, if you do enjoy your job, having that source of income to then be able to invest is important.
So it depends on the business side. Obviously you have to donate a lot of time. To a business, but there's other ways. You could buy businesses. If you look at a lot of entrepreneurs as well, they buy failing or ailing businesses and they turn them around, right? But it's whatever you feel comfortable in doing. And there are some great businesses out there, that we'll talk about, that you can turn around. So there's lots of different ways of doing that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's not the easiest, but it definitely is a way. So if you have got the ability to be able to do something like that, please utilize that and take that.
But I mean, just going back to business. So let's say if you had a great business idea, one of the things is, look, there's a slosh of money out there. And this is within private individuals, really, who want their money to work hard for.
Yeah.
So they are going on to crowdfunding platforms, things like that. If you've got a great business idea, and it has to be a great business idea, and you have a brand or a personality like that, then you could actually gain that money from that business, basically getting people to through the crowdfunding platform to actually give you that money as well.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. The next one, which is the last one on this section, actually is, now, just so we clarify, we're not financial advisors. No. We're literally just giving you educational content, informational content.
It's for entertainment and education.
For entertainment and education, but entertainment first, and then education purposes after.
Yeah, look at your
but this next one is essentially, if you've got the opportunity to borrow against the value of your house, if you have got equity built up in your house, you can go to professionals.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main things is, often the thing that I have is millennials. A lot of people are worried that millennials can't afford their own homes. Right? You're a millennial, right? They can't afford their own homes. And I actually say to you now, you don't necessarily need to have your own house. Your house is not an investment.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Your house is something that you call home. It's very personal to you.
Yeah.
It should never be classified as an investment. An investment is something that actually brings you an income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It puts money in.
Right. So if you're sitting on an asset, let's say it's your own house, but your own house is not, like I said to you, it's not an investment.
Yeah.
You could easily utilize that money to generate you a better income.
Yeah.
Basically, right? So it is actually refinancing your own house.
Yeah.
And especially with the interest rates so low at the moment.
Yeah.
Right? So you could then buy with that money. Because it's dead money when it's sitting in your own house, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, with millennials, I think it's better to rent almost.
Yeah.
Because then you can utilise that money to use to get you an asset that generates you an income.
Exactly.
Because your own house is a liability.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So maybe if you've got a lot of equity in your house, using some of the equity in your house to buy a rental property where you can get an income from that.
Yeah.
So rather than having dead money in your house, and this is where we talk about velocity of money,
yeah.
right? Where that £1 you're going to make into £2,
yeah.
right? So you've got the pound sitting in your house doing nothing.
Yeah.
If you take it out, you're going to put it in a rental property. You're now going to get that pound plus some more back.
Yeah.
That's going to appreciate in value as well, right? But you're getting, above all, you're getting an income from it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, super. So that's a roundup of this. There's a second part of this video coming as well, but that's a roundup of the first part of this video.
Yeah.
And the second part of the video will basically be more about how you can improve the chances of you raising finance.
Yeah.
So that's to come. So again,
and don't forget,
to
like us, subscribe,
hit the notification bar, and again, our website, emails are all below.
Yeah.
Our social media links, so make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook.
Absolutely, and above all, remember, share our videos because we'll have that once every month.
Yeah.
We'll have different topics. We'll have workshops, which will invite our group to, basically.
Exactly.
Right? And free of charge.
Give us your feedback as well.
You'll have to come down to London.
Yeah.
Sunny London, well, really sunny London.
Well, for now it is. That's why I'm short time.
Yeah. So please do, and we look forward to seeing you at the next video.
Super wicked. Take care.
Okay. Cheers. Bye.